Hello and welcome to busyworksbeats.com. I need you guys to smash that like button to extend that S. Today I'm going to show you how to make melodies. I'm going to use Logic Pro 11 today. I just want to show you guys, I'm building melodies for you guys for our new pack called Blueprint. It has a ton of drum breaks. It has a ton of one-shots for drums. And I'm creating melodies. So I'm showing you guys the process here. And as I was creating this melody, I want to kind of show you guys the steps. So it has a very ethereal soul sound. So I'm going to show you guys again step by step the plugins I'm using. So on the master here we have a multi-band compressor, just kind of compressing the bass but then gain matching it, so it's just keeping the bass still. And I'm taking out the frequencies around about 1K because they're very harsh on that piano on the master channel. And then for the individual channels, I'm mostly using just chorus to widen out the sound. For the effect, we're using this like wah pedal, which is an auto filter. On the buses, I'm using Arturia's plugin here called the Reverb Spring. This is really, really good for drums and melodies. And then I'm using the Logic Pro reverb with some vibrato through it to create more of a modulated sound. Okay, more of like a vibe. So let's start from scratch. So the first thing I'm going to do is let's save this as a new project. And let's just save this as... Now we have it as a new project. Let's delete everything here. Let's go to our browser here. And again, I've created drum breaks for you guys that you could build around. So let's just go to a different one. And in this case, let's go to this one. All right, so it labels it with the BPM. So it says 80 BPM. Let's double click here, type in 80. We're going to drag in the drums on this channel here. And let's do this again, drag the drums on in. Okay, and then we're going to hit Command R in this case. So let's just make sure it matches with the metronome. Okay, so for this vibe, we're going for more of like a soul, like if 50 Cent were to sample soul. Okay, so now I'm going to grab the E piano here, and we're looking for more of a bitey piano. Something like this, but let's take off the filter. And let's use this drive knob to create that grit, because we need the harmonics. Okay, nextly, let's take off any chorusing and let's take off any reverbs because we want it to feel more like dark. We might bring the spring reverb back in. Yeah, let's bring the spring reverb. Again, Arturia is the best spring reverb sound that I've used so far. Let's pull this all the way back. And now let's figure out what kind of chords we need for this grimy sound. Pull back some of the drive here. It's a little aggressive. So we're just using the half step. We're playing D minor, D suspended second, and then D minor. Okay, let's record this. I'm going to loop it instead of playing this again. And I didn't realize I was recording my vocals there. So let's delete this. Delete. Okay, so now we're going to pull this back to 8 bars. So if you guys notice, a lot of my melodies start with the chords first. And I build the melody around the chords. So that's our chord layer. Let's just turn it down so it's not super loud. I also want to create like a left-right movement. Let's see if we can... So this is kind of convoluted. We need some kind of stereo imaging plugin. So there's a plugin called Direction Mixer in Logic. We're going to take off the chorus effect, and then we're going to go to this plugin here and pull it mono. So it's going to be pulled to 0. So now it's mono. So I want it to be very directional so that we can feel the dynamic of the drums here. And now let's do the bass line. So for the bass, we're using the studio bass. and running it through a compressor just to tighten up the lows. And then for the bass notes, we're just playing D, which is the root note, and then maybe an octave or the perfect fifth, but mainly just a half step. Okay, something like that. Okay, so now I have those like bass runs. Now, one thing I noticed in Logic, you got to really make sure when you record by hand that your first note is quantized beyond the starting point, or else it will not play that first note. So you got to just be really, really careful. So lately I've been going in here and just hitting Q to quantize and making sure the strength is at 100. That way, when my loop actually triggers, it plays the entire note. So now we have a vibe. Let's muffle the bass. I feel like the bass is a little too bright. So let's add an EQ here. Let's add a channel EQ. And just use the low pass filter to shave off as if we're sampling from a record here. I'm gonna pull back. And let's add a little resonance to give it more tone here. So now it feels like it's sampled. Let's also make sure the notes aren't quantized. I forgot to undo that. Now they have the way I played them. Okay, now let's go back to this other E piano and let's see what kind of accents we get out over top. Just playing higher octaves of the same chords. Just kind of smearing notes, they're just color tones. Messed up because I was thinking too much. So I'm playing perfect fifths if you guys hear me jumping around. Playing octaves there. Okay, so now it's all about vibe and just sound selection. We could swap the main sound out here for an organ. I don't know if they have an organ inside of, I think they do, but instead of trying to search for one, let's just leave it as is for now. Let's add one more plugin to the master here. Let's add a compressor under the dynamics here. Let's go to compressor. Let's take off the threshold here. Let's add some clipping here, just some soft distortion, and let's turn down the gain, output gain. Now we get that knock. So the compressor is actually working here once you push the signal past 0. So if you don't want compression, just turn the ratio to 1:1. I feel like we need a little compression. Now we can go back and level a little bit. I also want to see if we pull the bass down an octave. Let's hit Control A, Shift Alt down, or Option. Just want to see if it gives us more. I feel like this is a little more gritty. make that the top piano mono. And then we're gonna send it through the spring reverb to give it more like a creepiness. One more plugin that I'm going to add here is going to be the tape delay plugin. And we're going to turn down feedback, turn the delay time all the way to 0. You have to turn off tempo sync. Turn your range here all the way, and basically use the flutter, intensity, and the LFO. This is going to create a wobble. Just turn down the dry signal. Now it sounds super creepy. Another technique here, we're going to use a sample delay. Now I guess this will work after we've pulled it mono. So now I'm creating a difference between the left and the right ear to create a pseudo stereo effect. Now for this beat, I feel like we can add some strings. So let's go to the studio strings. See if we can find some like impact strings. We need like more of a staccato impact. Now let's switch this to a string ensemble. So let's add that like Dr. Dre. Like that. We're playing the same exact chords. So we don't need to quantize that. Let's drag this to the second half. I feel like we could use a little more like left and right panning on the Let's send this to another bus. I want to create a delay bus with just the tape delay. We're gonna pull it to 100%. And this one's just gonna be weird timing. So I'm sending the mono piano to a stereo delay. Just wanted to be like a dark sound. Let's shave off everything above 2K. So now everything has a vibe. Let's go back to our drums here. Let's add an EQ and let's boost the lows. So don't be afraid to push these drum loops. And again, Blueprint will be out soon. Comes with drum breaks, drum one shots. It's going to come with melodies, all types of stuff. Now the last thing I want to check here is Varispeed. We're going to right click here, go to customize controls. We're going to switch this to custom. We're going to turn on Varispeed and apply. How do we get out of here? Let's click out of here and then click here, go to Varispeed and then right click or left click, switch this to detune semitones. Let's pull this down about 3 semitones, see what it sounds like. So this is a super secret. BPM's a little slow, let's speed it up. Now the only thing is when you change the BPM, the drum will change. So we have to turn on what's called the flex tune. BPM, the drum will change. So we have to, that was weird, hurt myself twice. Okay, so I think we did it right to where we turned on flex. And you know what, oh here, we have to click this button here to turn it on. And I think if we change the BPM, it will match. There we go. So now we could just mess with different BPMs. Now we get a unique tone. could also speed it up. My favorite thing to do though is pitch it down 1 to 3 semitones. All right, so that's how I make melodies for you guys. This will be in the Blueprint full pack. It's not out yet, so there's no website to go to. But if you want to sign up for free, to get these project files for free, just go to busyworksbeats.com. I'll put these up as project files for free for you guys for watching. Let's go to File, and then for the final thing is we're going to bounce the project, and I'm just going to save it here. We're going to save it in the, I guess we'll save it as Neo Soul. It's not Neo Soul. Let's save this into like hip hop, and let's call this hip hop melody, and then like G Unit. It's very G Unit-esque. It's called G Unit. All right, so once it bounces, you guys can find the file. So here's what Blueprint has in here. We have tons of drum breaks in here for you guys. Okay, so this will be out pretty soon. We have melodies that I'm working on for you guys, and I'm just showing you guys the process. We have Neo Soul so far in hip hop, and also there's a missing folder here because it's in a different section here, but we have working on some drums for you, some kicks, some snares, some 808s, some hi-hats, all the stuff you would need for hip hop production. So it's a lot of stuff in here, as you guys can see. But I'm still working on it, so I don't have a set like date for it to be done just yet. But as you guys can see, we have the melody in the hip hop folder, and now we can play it from here. I think you guys can hear this. Let me see. Now, what I meant to do is take off the drums. I was so entranced by that beat. I was just like entranced. So I'm going to do two versions, one with the drums, and then I'll take out the drums on the second half so you guys could have it without the drums. So here's what it sounds like without the drums. So Blueprint is going to be huge. And thank you guys for watching. I'll again give you guys this free melody as a thank you for watching this video. Just go to busyworksbeats.com, sign up for free, and then look at the free downloads tab. Share with a friend, guys. We'll be on Logic Pro. I'll show you guys how to make melodies, and I'll document this whole process. All right, guys, subscribe if you're new. Peace.